All right, I think we're on. Let's double check that we are live and that everything is working. It says that there are things. Would you like to double
I
check, Sonny?
I am trying to good good
The good.
the good video, but it seems that it's not cooperation.
What what language are you speaking?
My language. It's not coming. What is happening? Are we actually
Yeah, it says that we're live, but
okay?
I don't know what's going
Okay,
on.
now it's coming.
All right, well,
It
perhaps
does.
YouTube's playing funny buggers with
It,
us.
it does this every time.
Never.
YouTube playing funny buggers? No one's ever heard of such a thing.
Of course.
You know, we should have really just opened up with the thumbnail thing, rather than just sitting on poor Forge's artwork at the start. Him just going, I wonder when they'll start talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, so are we live?
Yes, we are live and posted.
All right, so let's begin then, shall we? All right. So, how's this one go again? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal,
And I'm Sunny.
and we have with us.
It's David. Hello.
It's David.
All right.
Yay!
So I figure with that stumbling intro, we may as well get straight to it, eh?
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's start out with Forge.
The progress of the captain so far from an average painter.
I reckon it's looking good.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's clean, does its job. Like, it's a work in progress shot. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong. I like that he's already set out his eye work. You know, it just looks like he's blocking everything in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm liking. See, I'm not one to do heads separately, but I
Yeah.
see a lot of people doing it nowadays because it's become so prevalent, and that's some nice crisp metal work he's got on there
Yeah.
for that gold helmet. The
Yeah.
rest of it, I'm a. You've seen some of my stuff in the past. I'm all for coloured primers and
Yeah.
using a base coat to get as much out of it as possible, especially with power armor. And that green is just perfect for salamanders.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of around one of the feet on the rock.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where the paint's pooled or whatnot, if he's going to come back to that.
I think it's
But
a
that's
spray. I think it's a spray because if we look at his sword, we see it climbing up a bit.
Yeah. It does seem to
Yeah.
be sprayed on, but I wasn't sure the feet, like you mentioned. Maybe it was like a dirt that he was trying to do some dirt.
Or maybe he
yeah, I
just
wasn't
missed
too
a
sure on
spot.
that point.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I see potential there. I mean, the weathering on all the parchment and the seals, and again all the gold work.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I
Well,
really want to see how this comes out because
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but it's like it's really funny because we've seen from Forge, it's like got the box, doing the next bit, you know, like,
Yeah.
and it's just been very step by step.
Yeah.
But
True work in progress.
yeah. All right, next up we've got Brian Thomas.
Yeah, he says Nurgle Incarnate is ready for the GT tomorrow at Edmund Unplugged.
So I'm not sure what this model is. I think it's a combination of models.
I'm
is
sure
it?
David
Yeah,
knows.
I think what he's done there, he's taken one of the eternal spells from
Yep.
AOS, and he's merged it with some leftover parts from a Great Unclean one.
Yeah.
And it looks brilliant.
Yeah. Well,
It's so simple as well.
I really like the bones with it, right? But I feel like with these streaks right here, more could be done with that, and I feel like more needs to be added to the base. Like currently, it's very sort of just wet mud sort of thing.
Yeah, it needs a little something else. Where
I
exactly
get that.
Yeah.
He said it's ready for a GT tomorrow, so I suspect that this is him getting it
Yeah.
tabletop ready.
Yes, I would.
And if I saw that on the tabletop, I'd no problem whatsoever seeing. I'd love to see that on a table across from me.
Oh yeah, no, I'd agree with that. The only thing is like basing is so easy to just get nice, and I feel
Yeah.
like the three elements here and just a base rimming would just really change it a lot. But I would really love to see coloured streaks on this. I think that would
Yeah.
really make it a bit more alive.
Yeah, some pools
I'm
of
gonna
some
be-
pools of nurgly gunk maybe
Yes,
sat in the
some
hollows.
pools of like it doesn't matter what you're adding to the base, but just like something.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a base this big, because that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah, that makes
60,
sense.
70
Yeah.
mil base,
Yeah.
one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And when you have that much space, I mean, I've been guilty of it myself. I have an army of knights I need to go back to and upgrade their bases because they're very plain as is.
Well, don't we
But there's
all have something that we need to upgrade? All right. Speaking of, shall we move on to Alex Co?
Mr. Alex, he said, enter the painting competition today. I have no expectation of placing, but it's all for good fun anyway. It's not judged until the 11th of next.
Well, I think
well,
he's in with a chance.
himself.
I am just
Yeah.
like, when he says, I'm not expecting to place, I'm just like, the competition can't be that bad, Alex. I mean, you surely could have. You definitely play something.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, I'll let Davis speak and then I will ramble for a full minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy to have any three of these in my collection.
Oh,
honestly,
yes.
because they all look great. I mean, the lion, the fading on the armor plates, especially that subtle black to
Mm-hmm.
almost green, which is so hard to do, looks great. I'd possibly the base rims might be the only thing that might let him down a bit, possibly. I can't tell if
On
it's
the
overspill on
line,
the lions.
yeah,
I can't tell if it's overspill on his base or not.
I think with the of all of them, the lion is the weakest of them. But like, I think that's saying something. Like, if the lion is the weakest of
Yeah.
these three, like these are just chef's kiss. Like, I really love this guy's base.
Oh,
This
yes.
guy's base, you know me, Davith. You know me and my base
Yeah.
obsession, and like it's just so good. But also, like that Terminator, we were obsessing over that for some time. So I think, Alex, your WAYPN approved.
WAYPN approved.
We think you're in with a chance.
I know what it need. I forgot what it was. Oh, Battle Bros. That's what we called them all. Yes.
The Battle Bros.
Yeah, because they were all trying to see who would come up with the best Terminator.
Oh yes. So we've got Brushstroke, Justin, and Alex, and they've all made some amazing Terminators. Speaking about the lion, look what we got next.
Ooh, the lion box.
Yes.
And who this is?
I mean, it is a nice kit.
Yes.
I built one myself just before Christmas. Him and Tava
and friends.
Azrael.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I thought you were talking about the watches in the dark. But yes, I've got mine on a glass display shelf, sitting there, shaming me, because I bought him for myself, and I still haven't been able to paint anything for myself this year. So I'm just sort of sitting there looking at him, and he's like, "You will never master the forests like this, son." I'm just like, "Get out of my head, old man."
I mean, it could be worse. I've had a Dark Angel army sitting, waiting to be part built for 4 editions now.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't part of being a Dark Angel fan being filled with shame? I think that's like part of the law or something. All right. Well,
how come the halo?
It's fine. I'm
like
mainly Space Wolf and Blood Angel, so I'm fine. I'm golden.
Okay, you're fine. You're golden. All right, that's okay. All right. Next up, we've got James Salisbury. Would you like to read for us?
Sat down to paint while watching YouTube videos and ended up finishing Bob, Agent of Hydra and Zombie Wasp. Bob is just a NPC in the board game, so he doesn't need to be high quality. Wasp, I am happy with how well I did. Wasp, I am happy with how well I did the gold all over her as well as the wings. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Davith, how about you tell us what you think first?
Yeah, Bob looks great for a mook, which is what he is.
Mm.
Wasp looks. I'm on two things with the Wasp. One, I do like his paint job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the other, as a fan of this particular version of the comic character, because I think this is the Unstoppable Wasp, Nadia.
I'm not
Just
sure.
needs a little
She's.
more.
I think she's Zombie Wasp.
Yeah,
I don't know which version
I've not
of
seen.
Zombie Wasp she is, but
Yeah,
she.
I know because I know Marvel Zombies the comic came before Nadia even existed, but this board game came out when she was kind of like getting a big push by Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the design looks very much Unstoppable Wasp, but no, she looks very nice and sinister. There's some lovely effects for wings there with that purple and the fade on it, the transition to different colours. So I do like that.
Well,
Crisscross the effect.
I
Excellent.
actually liked Bob. Like he's okay. He's slap chopped, right? He's just sort of done
Looks that
with
way.
that sort of style. I think it's probably a zenithal prime instead of with a dry brush, but it doesn't matter. I like how clean it is. It's just
And it's got that nice vibrant green as well.
yes,
So hard to
yeah,
pick Hydra.
yeah. And I actually love him for the Wasp. I think that she's great. I think that this base is a bit cluttered for her. I know that's not his choice, right? Because like she's set into it.
Yeah.
But I think the golds come up nicely. I do think like it wants some highlights. I think that the wings have come out really nicely though. And
Yeah.
I think other than that, she's fine. There's like nothing wrong with her. I just like some highlights on it, but I also know that he's going for tabletop standard with these because how many is
Yeah.
he looking to paint? Like
think like
200
100.
more?
Oh god, there's so many for these things.
Yeah, I think he was like at 150 out of 190 or something.
Yeah, and he's like, I want to try and get them finished before the next box comes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
good luck to you.
Yeah.
All right, so next up
Oh,
we've
boy.
got the classic.
Jose. I've started a new project which includes Helios, god of walking around in just a diaper. And a man who really should listen to him.
Just
Tactical cloudware?
yeah, there seems to be some tactical airbrushing on this photo, which I appreciate, so that YouTube does not get upset with us. And but yeah. Sorry, Davith, why don't you go first?
Well, I'm loving that the fade on the sun behind Helios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very yummy
This-
Teletubby sun. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
And it looks like is he going for OSL on the base or not? I can't really tell if that's supposed to be rocks
I think it's meant to
does
be
look like
rocks
rocks.
because we've seen this from him before with the sort of Greek island rocks.
Yeah,
they look
like a
very
nice-
light.
He'll be
What
he'll
is
be
it,
standing
sand?
above on
Sand
the peak above the
limestone?
clouds. That'll that
Yes,
explains it.
something like that.
Yeah.
I
I
think-
get exactly what
Yeah.
you're saying there, David, because it's like, is it rocks? Is it cloth?
But-
Is it clouds?
But I think that's a problem that the Aeon Trespass models have had, because we've seen a couple of them and we've looked at them and we've just been confused by some of them, haven't we?
Oh, definitely. Sorry. Joseph has definitely expressed, his confusions and frustrations.
Oh yeah.
Doing these models.
All right. Well, we'll switch to the next picture and get your thoughts on those, Davith.
Ooh, minus. I said minotaurs there. No, they're not minotaurs. They're centaurs. No, these are lovely sculpting. Looks like
Yeah,
see,
they do.
I always love doing a brown primer for naturalistic tones. It really
Mm,
does help a lot with bring because I always find it helps give you a lot of warmth
mm,
through,
mm.
Yes.
and that really shows with those skin tones
Yeah,
because they feel much more. Well, one, they feel much more like they're a natural transition.
yeah.
They just feel more alive. 'Cause I don't know if you guys have found it. If you try and do skin over a black or even a white primer, it can just feel a bit
Well,
lifeless.
you're speaking to the converted because Sunny has her own zenithal priming technique. Do you want to tell him about it?
Yeah, it's just a dark brown, and then we will get a medium brown, and then go over with a buff color for the highlight.
A buff or bone,
Yeah,
yeah.
buff or bone, and I just had the idea because I was struggling a lot with just standard black to white Zenithal Prime, and I found that when I wanted to get to the darker areas, it was just too dark.
Yeah.
The black was just too dark,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, why not we try it with maybe like browns because that will be easy for skin. It will be great for hair. It's just so much more versatile with that. And then I tried it and with my alien guys, and I just absolutely
I'll
loved
see
it.
if I can find those while you're speaking.
Yeah, that's all that I had to say because I really like doing the brown. I have another idea I'd like to try, but that's at a later point in time.
Well, why don't you tell him?
Well, okay,
Please.
the concept in you'll see this a lot talked about in digital illustration, YouTube video, and they'll talk about ambient occlusion, which means the light source that is influenced by the environmental lighting. Like, for example, if you're standing out in daylight, your shadows are going to it will have a blue tint to them because of the reflection from the sky. So that's like a quote unquote the main source of light that's not technically the sun. So the sun will give the warm, sort of pale yellow light, right? But the shadows will always stay cool because of the blue from the sky. So if you're thinking about it in that concept where you have shadows are always meant to be cold, light is meant to be warm, then you could use like a colder color for the base. So I might even try mixing uh, a, a brown with a little bit of blue, or even start with like a blue gray and then work your way up to a buff tone. So it's like blue gray to buff, and that it looks exactly like a model standing in an environment of daylight. And then you just paint over that, and you'll have those cool shadows and warm lights on top. And I would like to try that one day.
I dig it. That sounds like it'd be a fun experiment to try, Sunny. I mean, I've not really done anything in terms of xenophols or
Mm.
slab chop techniques myself. But one thing when I was last really painting big style is that I've when I came back to painting, I came from a time where I was always priming black.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to 2010, it was all black because I had gone sick of having white, which chipped when I was trying to paint metallics and blacks over the top. Black was the GW standard. That's how I did things. When I came back, I wanted to change how I was doing stuff, so I was very much I adopted the army painter technique, their colored primers,
Mm-hmm.
color matching. So wherever possible, I tried to I still used a lot of black in some of my stuff, but like Space Wolves are all wolf grey. My Infinity armies, each faction has a different primer I've used to give it a unifying undertone, no matter how I've painted everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you can always get that there's bits of that color still popping through. And then when I came to do my custodians and my knights, my custodians were all primed brown, and then the gold over the top because it just gave it a much warmer feel to it. And then my knights was the first time I'd actually bothered to separate parts out. So all the armor plating, I primed in that brown, and
Mm-hmm.
then went over the top with all the metallics, the reds, the yellows, just to get that much warmer tone to it than trying to do it all over a black base instead.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's fun experimenting with that stuff. And what you were saying with trying to replicate that feel of
Warmth.
actual light,
Yeah.
yeah, warmth and coolness to the tones. I really want to see how that works for you because that sounds like a brilliant experiment to try.
Yeah.
Even if it
Well,
doesn't work out, it's
we've
going to
been
look
showing
fascinating.
some of it on screen,
Mm.
so
I
I
was
know.
going to ask if these were your guys' stuff because they
Yeah.
looked fantastic.
Yeah, no, so that's what we were showing just before when we were showing that thing. So I'll bring it up again, Sunny's zenithal experiment, and you can see how the warmth of the things go on. But this is a bit too much of us talking about ourselves, so we're going to move on
Yes.
to the next person. Otherwise, it would be a bit unfair to them.
Yeah.
All right.
Joseph, love how it's looking, mate. We want to see how it turns out.
But his one's looking really nice.
It is.
It looks just like.
Well,
like I
that's
said,
why we
very
were
natural.
talking about the zenithal, so we'll move on.
Okay, and then we've got this guy.
There was the Member Monday post, and then we go to...
We've got Corbin Govers, and he's new.
Yeah.
So I'm walking on two Skaven projects. Sorry, working, not walk. Working on two Skaven projects on one the army, which I want to be atmospheric underneath the sewers of my COS, the picture band. Oh, we need to come up with a joke for that.
Oh, yes, COS. So, all right. So, Corbin, you don't know the rules yet, but the rules are if you use a acronym that people don't know. So,
without stating the full name.
yes. So, what is COS?
Corn on soup.
Well, College of Stinkiness.
Yes, College of Stinkiness. Do we know what it really is?
Cities of Sigma.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to be atmospheric underneath the sewers of my College of Stinkiness. The pictured banner bearer. The second is my Blood Bowl team that I want in the same style as the of. Any suggestion? I did 3 skin tone mock-ups with different processes: green with pale skin, green with traditional skin, and purple with orangey skin.
Okay, so speaking of that warm zenithal, it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. So he started out with a pure grey and then added some warmth. And then it looks like he's done a bit of a reverse zenithal here by doing some purple undershading. So what's he looking to do with the skin exactly?
Oh, let me read.
Like with this dwarf here, so he wants a very orangey skin, is it?
He's just sort of trying it out. Like I did 3 skin tone mock-ups of different processes. Green with pale skin.
Yeah.
Green with traditional skin, and purple.
So
Okay.
I think he's sort of asking what's best. So I think when it comes to what's most visually exciting, right? It's definitely this one, the purple and orange, right?
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean that really
so-
does pop quite a lot.
Yes, it does. I'd agree with
I
that.
actually quite
But I do think though it's one of those cases where until he gets one of them more blocked in and
Yeah,
detailed and more further on the process, he's not going to get it. So I think he's got each of these 3 offers him some nice options for what he wants to do. Orange one probably gives him the best base to get the result he's looking for because of how that dwarf looks.
Yeah, well, like, I think he was using that as a point of comparison, right? Because he's got very, very bronzed skin, this dwarf.
Yes, he does. He looks like he got a fake tan. He really needs to catch the ladies from the bleacher stands, so that's why he's got a fake tan.
But I tell you what, she's coming out really nice. He, whatever. The thing is, I would say when it comes to these guys, I think the orange and purple are coming out best, but I'd have to agree with David and say when it comes to these guys, I don't see those other steps in them.
Yeah, it looks like a
Just
pure tan.
grey.
Or something.
I'd say this is grey. I'd say this is more tan. But like, yeah, so I think until we see the other ones with a few more steps along, like David
Will
said,
we be able to
yeah,
judge? Yeah.
but if there are other steps that you have done on these and we're just not seeing them, we're not seeing them, and this is the one where things are coming up nicely.
Yeah.
Either way, beautiful thing about scathing, especially with rat ogres, there's no wrong way to do it. You can be subtle, you can go big and go home.
Yeah.
The possibilities are literally endless. So there is. So Corbin, first off, welcome to the group, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope you survived the experience.
Well, David has been here for a long time. He's in fact followed the group through different social media areas. So
Yes, I
if
don't
he
know if
can
that says more
survive.
about me or what, but
Just
no. In all seriousness, each of these three shows potential. Just crack on with them. Get each one up to like maybe a table ready standard, just to see how you like how everything comes together.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because at this point, I can see what you're going for. I think we'd all like to see more though. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll move on to James's next one. Would you like to read out for us?
Finished 2 test models from Marvel Zombies, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Specialist, 12 more to do. Want to try and get as much done today as a personal goal.
So, we'll get Davith to speak on these ones first.
yeah, I mean, 12. See, I have Zombicide games myself. I've never tried to paint any of them because it would break me. There's so many of those models, and they're doing so many identical ones as well.
Yeah.
But I like this color scheme. It gets that. See, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to have like a blue/black bodysuit,
Yeah.
and whilst this isn't pure black, it's doing that thing where it tells you enough that it's like this is a very
Well,
it's a very shiny black outfit that's it's kind of it's doing a lot of the work for you, if that makes sense.
for me,
I might like to see a bit more contrast in the base, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
For me, that's the issue, right? There's almost no contrast with these guys, right? So, like, this is meant to be
Little too pale.
smoke or something, I think.
Hmm.
Whatever's going on with their feet, right? But
Yeah.
with these bases looking like this, and with these guys looking like this, there's very little to give visual interest besides the heads and the skin.
That's fair.
You've got the badge, which is good, but I really do think that you want to go darker with these, and I understand why you're hesitant because you're just like, look, if I go too dark, I might stain these other things. But
I can see that as well.
Yeah, like, and as David is saying, there is a boatload of these things, and it gets very draggy. But I do think like you need that contrast because as they stand, they just blend into one another. Like everything sort of blends.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
yeah, you go.
sorry, I was just thinking because effectively because I did see someone try something similar with I think Warhipster with his contrast plus technique when he was doing Gaunt's Ghosts. What he'd do was he'd actually put a Lamian medium mix of a color down to start with, like a blue or a brown or whatever, and then he'd put the black contrast over the top, and that thin down pre-shade.
Oh, so almost like a wet blending thing, but not wet blending.
More like all right. It's more a case of imagine if you've xenophiled something, but instead of xenophiling it, you've done a straight prime, and then you've applied a contrast, a thin down contrast, almost like a wash over the top of the model. Not the whole model, but particular areas where you want a particular color to have a particular feel. So it's a way to get a particular. It was a way to make black cloth across several miniatures look different.
Okay.
But in this case, for the way he's done that, I could see then applying a 50-50 Black Templar Lamia medium wash mix over the top of it for bodysuits, and you'd still get that blue grey he's applied coming through in the tones, but you'd also darken it down quite. You get that much. It wouldn't be a pure black because of how the contrast works and because it was mixed with medium, but it would just give you that darker feel to it.
Yeah.
Equally, I appreciate because he's got so many of these to do. He wants a nice, quick method.
Yeah.
And
this would add an
speaking of
extra
nice
things.
and quick, I think we'll
We
have
should
to
do
move on to the next one. Yes.
So
Well, speaking of Talk Tuesday, we somehow conned Davith into coming here.
Yes.
So-
Hooray!
So if
It's probably good for volunteering.
Yes. So
Well, thanks, Davis.
yeah, well, if you want to come along, please feel free, because the thing is that for us, it really changes the experience, because when you have people on, it's more like a game, it's more fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we can be wrong, right? We can be wrong and other people can be right. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright. So,
Well,
It's always nice to have some different opinions.
yes,
exactly. That's the whole point of WAYPN.
Alright. Speaking of,
We've got Calvinoni. And
Yep.
he's a spearman unit from War Gods of
Egyptus.
Egyptus. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't what I thought it was, because that would be a Judas Sith moment.
Oh yes. I think these are like some great sculpts, but I'll let you go first, Davith.
Well, again, I think these look quite lovely. I mean, War Gods is a name I've not heard in I was about to do the Ben Kenobi. No, that's a name I've not heard in a very long time. Because it's an old system. I've got a few War Gods of Olympus minis knocking around somewhere. I didn't even realize it was still going. But no, these look fantastic. I mean, it's got the minis have a very chunky old school style.
I think
That's what they're going for.
I think
They do. They look lovely because they're really nailing that Egyptian high kingdom, low kingdom sort of style to them, and pulling in the mythic elements of the setting, which is really nice. And I like. I'm trying to think out what phrases without sound like a complete a-hole, but it's very rare to see. All right, it's not rare because you do see a lot of companies nowadays making miniatures based on the African kingdoms of various periods.
Oh right, so
But-
I'll do it for you. Okay, I know what you're saying. You're trying to say it's not that often that we see people using, for example, non-European mythologies. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not just that. But making these, I mean, you have that traditional-looking scarification on the back of a couple of the sculpts.
Mm-hmm.
They've really gone in for making these. These look like warriors,
Yeah,
like
no.
an army.
Well,
It's an ancient mythological army, but it doesn't look. It's very easy to, because of cultural norms and because a lot of wargame companies, let's be honest, are run by white Western European guys. Let's be frank, in their origins.
Right.
It's very easy to fall back onto some very unfortunate stereotypes.
Right. And
I
should
don't
we
think
should we
these
talk
are.
about the colors?
yeah, so I think this is actually some of Cal's best work. I really like the
Oh, yeah.
scarification. As you were saying.
The skin is really nicely done.
Yep. The other part that I really like is that he's got a lot of colours on these. So Cal is known for not doing as much intense work when it comes to colours sometimes.
He usually likes to use the contrasts for his models.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
usually going for
And
the
there's nothing wrong with that, but what I do think is I do think that this is some of the best work, and I'd say that some of the reasons is is the contrast in colors.
Yes, because
So-
oftentimes with Cal's work, he does go
Just-
pretty experimental with the colors to the point that they all just sort of blend into each
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
and there's no
But
contrast.
we've got the blue and the green, right? Which are colder colors against the warmth of the skin and the spear, as well as the warmth of the base. And I just think that's a great contrast. So
Yeah.
I think
I love that the transition he's got on the shields as well, because I think that's probably a green contrast over a gold base color for a lot of them.
Yeah,
Because that just works really nicely,
it's
and it's not uniform either.
Yeah.
It makes it look more like these
shields, but colors to them.
metal shields, but it's also something that has been handcrafted, where you wouldn't necessarily have uniformity.
Right, okay. Well, should we?
Yes, I think we've sort of beaten this one to death. So next up,
Sorry.
yeah, no, it's all right, it's all right. I'm just saying we've said I think all we can say. So on this one, next up we've got Genuine Vision, who doesn't love us
as per usual.
because when they make comments about their stuff on here, we know that they love us. But it's all right. We'll still comment.
No
I won't cry.
No top description.
I guess I won't cry, and it's that's
finally
definitely why
finished
Davith is
the Beyond.
commenting.
He's crying. Oh,
The-
no.
Davith,
Don't
it's
cry.
you've got to comment on it now.
Oh.
It's all up to you.
Oh, I love seeing someone doing a good Asterix riff. This is brilliant. Who doesn't love seeing a mad? Is he a troll?
It is a
I-
troll. It is
Beyond. Oh, he's
Beyond.
he's the Nordic gnome.
Yep,
the Nordic gnome.
That is what he is.
But yeah, you're right. It does have a lot of asterisks and obelisk, and I think
And it's fun.
yes,
It's just fun.
it is very
I mean-
fun. But I think unfortunately, as far as the colors and all of that go, at least for me, I can't comment on it because I think that this is very much above my skill level. But you go ahead, Davith, and tell us what you think about the colors and such, and the
Well, I think the skin work is absolutely superb because you've got
phenomenal.
such good use of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he's really using. Let's be honest. A lot of us, because of the scale we're working at, we don't paint skin like it should be. Most skin
No.
isn't tan or pink or whatever. There's more to it, and Genuine's really gone in with greens, pinks, browns,
Yeah.
the oranges, the purples,
It's
and it elevates the whole thing. And same thing with the hair. There's so much work gone into making those colours more than just.
a blonde. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and
Excuse me.
I think with this, I think there's a style to it, but there's not a single thing where I can see where there could be improvement. Maybe some of the shine on the axe, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
But like,
I could conceivably say maybe possibly the base. There's a bit too much in the way of snow, but that feels really churlish to say.
yeah, no,
'Cause-
and see, and I
it's got
feel
the
like
effort
we're
of having
nitpicking,
snow.
aren't we?
Yeah, but no, it's lovely. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if Genuine games with these or not. If he does, then braver man than I. I hope it's certainly varnished to hell and back. But
But yeah, I think
as
yeah, go on.
an advert for Moonstone Minis,
Yeah,
I couldn't think of a better.
yeah,
And to be fair, Moonstone tends to attract really high quality painters anyway to their miniatures because they are such good minis.
yeah.
I've rarely seen anyone half-ass a Moonstone miniature, if ever. To
Right.
be honest,
Well,
they encourage everyone to bring their A game to the range.
right.
Yeah.
It's no easy thing to do.
Exactly.
Well, I'd agree with you there, and I think we've said as much as we can on this one because it's just beautiful. And now let's move on to James.
Priming, skin, weapon, uniform, and smoke done with spray can or speed paint. Update: if I get them finished tonight, I'm going to reward myself with pizza. Well
Sure.
done.
Oh, they look a lot more blue this time round, don't they?
But they're meant to be. Are they meant to be black? Aren't they?
I don't mind if they're blue. I don't care. I just
It's an odd one because when you look at the Shield jumpsuits in live action, they are much more of a dark navy blue in color.
Oh, okay.
Because black doesn't really work on screen as well.
Right.
In the comics, they're generally the same. They're very dark blue, effectively.
Right. And what do we
Almost
think
blackish
of?
blue.
What do we think of how he's going with them so far?
I think that the blue looks a lot better this time round because I think when we saw those test ones before, it didn't come up as much. But I think work in progress is work in progress. So let's see if he managed to get some pizza.
Yes, we will see
All
later
right.
on.
So,
oh, the cute duggers!
Doggies!
Yes.
Stefan Babbage.
Yes.
I wish my doggy minis had as much painting time as my stairwell.
Yes, and he provides a lovely picture of him in his stairwell and him looking just so happy about it. Just ecstatic.
This is a meme. You have to be careful, Stefan, because you might turn into a very popular meme.
He's even left a nice big blank space for everyone to put whatever they like in there.
Crayon
that's so
drawings.
generous of him. That's so giving to the community.
So giving, yes.
That needs to be rewarded. You hear me, community?
Yes.
Reward Stephen with the finest memes.
Yes.
We know you have it in you.
And look at these.
Stephen, you're welcome.
But I tell you what,
Look at these
there
doggies.
is so much work put into each of these. Like, I just like
These are great.
the tennis ball.
And the chicken toy one is my favorite one.
The chicken toy.
Oh,
Yes.
Look at him.
I also like over here, like the saucepan strapped to his head, and just they're so utterly ridiculous. But I tell you what,
Bulldogs at the back.
You can distinctly tell each one from the other one. Like, even though these two are the same type of model, right? You would never confuse these two on the field because of their colorations, right? And same with these two over here. And I think, like, in that sort of cases, right? Even over here, all of these guys, you'd have zero confusion. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand as much when it comes to play, you know? And speaking of coming to play, we do have Joseph who has commented. Would you like to read out for him?
I need to find. Give me a second.
You are
a few comments were seen from the 80s. They were light pale blue, much like those were.
Yeah. So he's talking about
which is fair.
Yeah. He's talking about James's piece there. Yeah. So I think when it comes to these dogs, is there anything that you'd like to comment on them, David? Other than they're
delightful.
Yes, they are.
Just the way that he's managed to get all the different. Clearly, he's either a dog lover or someone who's taken a lot of time to pay attention to how dogs are coloured.
Or like he's got a very, very unusual, specific hatred of dogs, and he wants to see his team lose over and over again. But somehow, I don't think it's that one. I think it might be the other one.
Yeah. I just want to see them based up properly because.
Oh yeah, I think the thing is this is just a work in progress. I don't think they're finished yet. So like I think they're pretty close.
That was the other thing I was going to think because I can't see. I can maybe see a few steps on a couple of them that you might be willing to take, but there's not much that any of these need.
Yeah, no, I don't think they need anything, and I think also with the chibi style, certain techniques don't come out as well. You know, so for example, the whole edge highlighting thing doesn't come out as well with the chibi style, especially with all of those rounded surfaces.
Yeah, because there's not enough edges to edge.
I think he could edge maybe some of these helmets, but I think that might sort of take away from the chibi style, but
I mean, he's edged some of the armor, especially on the bulldogs, which looks quite nice.
yeah,
But I don't
he
think
has.
a lot of the others really need that step
Yes, I
because of
agree.
how they've.
Well,
He's got. You can clearly see where he's got washes in place on a lot of the metal, so they're shaded quite nicely. So
I agree. I think
I just want to see. I just want to see how it looks finished. Frankly,
yeah, I
Well,
would
these
agree.
are delightful.
So
shall
These
we
are
move
delightful.
on?
yes, I think we shall move on. So next up we have
Joseph once again, and he says, next batch from my big project. All models are from Kingdom Deaths. Official artwork for inspiration included.
all right.
I was going
Well,
to say, you don't say.
yes. Well, they've
Kingdom Death, I'd never have noticed.
yes, they've got a very specific style to them. So would you like to comment on the first one first?
Hang on, let me go back to.
Because there is a lot of pictures in this one.
I'm getting big Guts from Berserk vibes on this.
Oh yeah.
It makes sense for the Honorable Berserker.
The whole that sound that plays when you look at this model. Either that or you get a wild desire to betray everyone you know and swallow a little egg-looking thing. One of the two. Yeah. The less said about that, the better. Let's move on to apparently something from a adult store.
Oh no!
It kind of look. Oh my good lord!
I mean, the fact there's a freaking tentacle in there as well.
Yeah.
A booty shot.
Yes,
Adam
it is a booty shot. He knows what he is.
If you look at
he knows what he likes.
He knows what he's aiming for. He knows what his public's going for.
Well, see, the only thing that ever upsets me when it comes to these Kingdom Death models is I made a video many years ago, having a go at it, and people denied it about being about that, and I'm just like, come on, mate, come on.
I mean,
kind of hard.
What planet are they on?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I review anime as a hobby on
Yeah.
the website. I watch a lot of anime. I've read a lot of manga reviews.
Yeah, Joseph said he was probably based on Guts. Yeah, well, I think we all figured. Yeah, continue.
Oh!
Even I can accept that Adam is probably Adam Poots and Company with Kingdom Death. Can look at it and go, yeah, I see we've been inspired by that. Yeah, fair play. Bit much though, but yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I think I really like this one. This, I think, reads really well, and I think it's just has a really nice, interesting silhouette.
It does that broken horn.
Yeah,
around the back.
I always find it so
/ bone scythe.
Well, it seems like a half-completed circle. It doesn't even seem like a bone there, does it?
It looks just like the horns from the Dragon Lord.
Oh, yeah. Obviously it is, but, I mean... Oh, this is the... it's the Murderer. I like the Murderer. I think he's come up quite well.
He's definitely very apathetic.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there's... Oh, I tell you what, he's captured that look very well.
Oh yes.
So here's the art, and we'll go back to the front. Oh, one too many. And yeah, I think that look of just sort of, I don't know how to put it. An almost sort of
nonchalance.
Yes. I think
this is someone who thinks nothing
of life. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's why he's called a murderer.
Yes. There might be a chance why that's named that.
Ooh.
So this is the pinup cleric, I think, because it's from Echoes of Death. So I think that was the pinup series.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. one of the more restrained of those, which is
Oh,
always
yes.
nice.
Yes, I mean,
And again, some lovely paintwork that Joe's put on there.
yeah. I do think this is one of his weaker lanterns, though, because he's usually very, very strong with the lanterns. But I think a weaker lantern. Ooh, see what I mean? This one's a bit better, but I do see like that streak there in the middle. But the
Yeah, I get what
lighting,
you're saying. There's a bit more of a gradient on the second one.
yeah.
Wonder if he painted on the OSL or if he used an airbrush.
No, he's painted it on because of the way that it's appeared. Otherwise,
Okay. It looks really, really good.
yeah, I like this model. I like the silhouette. I like the colorations. I think, compared to that, I think that Joseph may have given her pants.
Yes, he did give her pants.
Joseph gave her pants. I think it actually looks better like this.
Yes.
It's not because I'm allergic to skin or anything, but I do think...
Sometimes there's a mini where you just think, you know what? I need to take this sculpt somewhere slightly different because that's not a good look.
So Joseph says my OSL is all dry brushed.
Ah, very good.
See, I think the reason why it's good is it gives more of a focus to this, the breast and the stomach, and I think that gives a sort of better window of focus.
Yeah.
I think
it makes it more interesting.
You want to focus on the interesting parts.
Well, I think
the model.
it trains the eye more, right? Because if we look at this here, right now, with a drawing, it's a lot easier to get an expressive face and that sort of thing, and obviously you can do it through Photoshop and you can do all your edits and that sort of thing. And when you're on a mini and you're at that scale, a bit different. But see, when we come down here, we don't have that focus.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if this was those pants that he had, right, our focus just goes straight here.
Yes.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so, from objectively, from an art standpoint, I think it's more interesting.
Yes.
And I do believe we've gone full circle.
Right. Well.
So, Joseph's added one more bit. So, I like looking at naked women as much as the next person. It just doesn't make sense in a fight.
Yeah. You're right on that.
And James has come in and he said, sorry for being late. No problems for being late, my friend.
Yes, we hope... Oh, what good timing, because there's another one from
Yes,
James.
Now we get to find out, did he get pizza?
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. specialist from Marvel Zombies board game, ready for table game. Happy I managed to fulfill my personal goal in finishing them today or tonight.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. Yep.
Please remember these are not special guys in the board game, just mob troopers, so just need to be good, not amazing. Of course.
Yeah, and see, I think that's an important distinction. Sorry, Davith, you go.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say, but I mean, for a mob of mooks, that's perfect. Not too much time taken. Done a massive in a fairly short amount of time, and they look perfectly fine to play on the tabletop. I mean,
okay, so
if you open a board game for me to play with those as part of the horde, love it.
So the thing is, I'm going to disagree with you and spoil James's day. I think the problem is that they're all too samey, mostly because of the base. So when it comes to this base, I think, for example, give it this area, make it a more dark grey or a asphalt black, bitumen black, and do that to contrast with both the smoke and the model itself, and I think that would be a different story. Because
I could see that.
Yeah, because the grey is nice, right? But it all becomes an indistinct blob as it is, right? And I think the thing is, or do a cobblestone brown, whatever it is, right? But it cannot be the same color as these guys, because otherwise, you're just it's all the same sort of thing.
Yeah, it does.
If that makes sense. Yep.
I mean, I was thinking possibly maybe just a heavy wash of something like null oil would probably do a trick. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah,
But
no,
it'd be
it,
enough
it doesn't.
it'd be enough to bring that,
Yeah,
to darken it down and make it that
it
bit of
does.
contrast to the smoke and everything
Yes,
else.
that's the thing, the contrast. It doesn't matter how he does it. If he wants to do it with a contrast paint, a speed paint, whatever it is, right? Joseph just said, "How dare your camo blend into the surroundings?" Yes,
Winky face.
yes. Well done, Joseph. We had a flurry of comments. Apparently, pizza was gotten, Sonny was denied, and Joseph now mocked me. Which is the standard. But as I have been mocked, I invite you to mock me more with my post.
Your thing.
So let me read out. Oh no, somebody wishes to join. Unfortunately, I cannot do that without revealing people's private info. Come on, buddy, just.
I can read it. They're still not finished.
Okay, I'll read it from your screen, and you can flip over here.
Okay. Give me your mouse, and you can use my mouse.
Okay.
Yes, and they're the same mouse, by the way, so we can confuse each other.
Yes. So, all right. It's Whip Wednesday. Hashtag Whip Wednesday. They're still not finished. I've tried to finish them all off last night. Went into the morning, but I failed. I have the shoulder pads and heads done. All I need to do is a few bits and bobs, and then she'll be Jake.
It's not moving.
It's not moving?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, well. Needs to, what did...
Need to be more diligent.
Yes, I do. Apparently, everything is failing.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna close that one down, try a new one. Okay, no, the computer just wants to fail. We'll just look at these ones here. So, yes.
So Henry, are these a metallic primer with contrast over the top?
So what they are is they're what is that?
Color shift.
Color shift. There we go.
Color shift. Ooh, nice.
So we won't see it as much, but it just doesn't want to do it with this one.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go to the next picture.
Yes. So with these ones right here. Oh, maybe they're the same picture. Maybe it didn't.
Oh.
I mean, that's what I thought when I was looking at the pictures. Like,
yeah, no, I think I didn't put in the. I think I didn't.
They're the same.
Yeah, I think I didn't see put up the wrong. So I failed on multiple levels. Please mock, and you can all.
We can always go to the next post, honey.
Well,
Yes,
it's
we
a good shout on the color shift though. That's a tricky one to get right.
We will.
Are these Night Lords?
So I did.
Custom...
Yeah. I did go. They're meant to be Black Legion, but I think I put a bit too much color into them.
Yes. So we will take a look at the latest pictures later on.
Okay.
So we have more. So we have a Joe R. Thornton adventure.
Yes, I will see if I can get things to work. All right. All right. Are we ready for our Joe R. Sutton? Good day, all. Whip Wednesday. So I hit 333 followers on Instagram. So I did a custom model giveaway. Got to be in it to win it. Don't you know? So, the winner asked for either a Tomb King leader model for the old world or a Cities of Sigmar wizard. I decided to do the wizard, as I don't have as many bits as I thought. It was harder to do. What do you think? Not painting it. Also, 2 pictures of a game I love called Carnivale.
I think it's just Carnival.
Probably.
No, it is pronounced Carnivale because it's got that extra E on the end.
Ah, well, there
It's
you
supposed
go.
to be. It's set in Venice. It's set
All
in
right.
Venice. So.
Yes. Called Carnivale. As the faction I play is getting a new model, and it's massive. It's the blurry one at the back. The picture to the top of the right. The model, blurry, to the back of the left, is on a 50mm base, about the size of a Chaos Spawn. Alright, let us
That
see.
is a big boy.
Alright, so that's the wizard, the specialist wizard he made for someone.
I love the kit bash because I think that's the body of a fanatic.
Not sure.
I like how he's got the thing coming out of the book.
Oh yeah,
it looks like
the flame.
the smoke element. That's very cool.
It
The
looks-
staff is a nice kit bash as well.
I think
Oh,
that's really
brass
clever
relevant
thing
bits on.
to do.
Yeah, it looks great. Absolutely fantastic. I'd be very happy to receive this model and happy to paint it up. And now,
there's a little thing like the hammer chain on the arm, which is a nice touch for.
no, the dog must survive.
He's going to get eaten by the giant.
All right, we can't look at this anymore because there's a dog that may not have made it. No more looking at it. We might get sad. But yes, looks like that model he did up looks absolutely great and fantastic work on the conversion. I love the as you said, David, the what's that? Not a pin, it's a brass rod.
Brass rod, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah, I think great work all round. It's very Games Workshop. Like you look at that and it screams Games Workshop because it's just so ridiculously over the top.
Also, it's really nice. I see very little green stuff used in there. It looks like it's all basically
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah, it is.
Mashed together.
All right.
Which
Well, we will quickly look at the comments and see if anyone has said anything. So, James said he will have to look up cobblestone colors and work out what will translate to the paint. But you have some negative commentary on this. Do you want to share it with us? And we can have a very quick talk on this one.
Oh, the detail creep.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that there's kind of like two sides to it where, yeah, we do get a lot of detail nowadays, which is on one hand quite nice, and it kind of it does make it sometimes a bit easier if you just want to get the impression of stuff just with washes and
Yeah.
contrast. It kind of if you want to take the time and pull all that detail out, you can.
Well,
But you can also get away with things a bit easier as well in some cases.
yeah, so I think, like, in most parts I'd agree with you, but we basically had that conversation offline where I said I'd usually agree with you, but the fact that the wires were placed where they were, the placement of the parts, I think was essentially the issue. Like, you can have a good level of detail if it will help the painter. Whereas I feel like this doesn't help the painter at all. But I think that's pretty much how the conversation went offline, so we'll move on to the next bit. And next up we've got
It's Larry Hassenflu.
Hassenflu. Isn't it Hassenflu?
He said it's Larry has the flu, right?
Oh, Larry has the Larry has the
flu. That's how you say it?
Yeah.
But
I thought because we asked how the name was pronounced. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Carlina von Karstein been working on this one on and off for a few months now, and I'm kind of out of ideas. What more to do with this thing? Used it to try some new things like lava, frost on the sword, used a frost effect, but it didn't grow crystals quite as aggressively as it has on some other things I've done. So I'm not sure they even show up on camera. and adding the blood spilling from the cup. I don't feel like it's done, but I also don't know what else I can see. Well,
All right. Well,
Okay,
yeah, go for it, David.
I have a thought for Larry here.
Yeah.
Edge for base.
Yeah.
Bring it up to that. Bring it. No, seriously, bring it to to a stage where it's tabletop ready, which this is well beyond that, frankly. But get that
Yeah.
base edged. Once you've done that, look at it again. Because honestly, I think you're being too hard on yourself, mate. Because if I'd gone, I mean, any one of these steps, I mean, that blood spill is the fact that you actually have blood spilling out as a physical effect. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'd
The
agree with that.
the the rose on the blade and that frosting. I know you said that you didn't get the crystallizing effect that you got on other projects, but that still looks pretty damn good, frankly. And
Mm,
that contrast between that deep red armor as a unified deep red armor as well. It's not just I see a lot of people paint these armors where they had gold edged and whatnot. You've gone full Bram Stoker,
mm.
Bram Stoker's Dracula for this, and then you've capped it off with that white cape and the blue loincloth. All of those just make this thing. It looks so damn good, mate. I think you'd been way too harsh on yourself.
So
I mean, possibly the lava effect might need a bit of work, but I would honestly just add
I think
the
that you're
base deck.
right about the base rimming. I think that the lava effect will look a lot better once the base is rimmed. So I 100% agree with Davith in that try just edging the base and then just taking a photo of the model as is with the base rimmed, right? Because I think you'll have a more complete picture of it. So he's done some frost effect, and I can see just the starts of it. I don't know what it is that makes the frost effect, right? But when it comes to it, if you've got other projects which have the effect more prominent, please show it to us, and then we'll be able to judge that more accurately. I think the blood splatter looks great. Um, Sunny is nodding.
the blood splatter looks really nice actually.
Yes.
Just the way it's falling and then it
Yeah.
splatters onto the white of the.
Yeah. The other thing that I think though is unfortunately this cape is just too stark.
Yeah, I think you could do with a little bit of dirtying up at the base.
I'm not talking as much about the dirtying up
Maybe
of the
just
base.
maybe some deeper shadows.
Well, not necessarily deeper shadows because you see how it goes black, right? I think the issue is it goes too stark too quickly. So it goes black, right? But there's no sort of like if this is
gray transition.
yeah, a grey transition instead of just a straight black.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe an OSL effect along here.
Yeah.
But I really think, like Davith said, just get yourself a nice base rim, and I think you will be in a much better place because I think that base rim will really, really change things and will give you a much better look at things. But I think we've flogged the dead horse, so we will move on. But yeah,
this one's nice.
I think you did great work.
Yes.
All right, so next up we've got Andy.
This evening, base coats on Colossus from Marvel Crisis Protocol. Working to get a good solid base and make it as neat as I'm able to. Also started doing some black lining around the different areas to aid separation. Only just started it really, but it is at least started.
Well, David, give us your thoughts.
I mean, Colossus is always a tricky one to paint because it's the question: do you paint his armor silver or do you paint it grey? And he's gone non-metallic metal for this, which looks lovely, and is probably the best contrast you can come up with doing it. To be fair, best compromise. But I'm digging a lot about this. I mean, some people might make an argument that some of the reds and the yellow looks a little on the dirty side, but I like that because it adds a bit more depth. It's where you get into
I think that you're right
difficult.
with the depth, but I do think that he could brighten a lot of it. So, for example, right here, he's added some whites to his red, and I think rather than adding whites to his reds, maybe he could go into a much more vibrant red.
Yeah.
Like, for example,
Maybe an
Chimera
orange?
colors. No, no, not like an orange. Like Chimera colors the red, if you know that color, which is just really
Okay.
super vibrant red.
I
It's
think he can't do that because, like, when I'm looking at it, the red is actually pretty saturated as it is.
okay. Well,
Like on
let's.
my computer, it looks pretty saturated red.
Well, that's fair. Like that's why we do have multiple computers when we're looking at
yeah,
things.
so like he can't unfortunately go brighter than that.
Okay, all right. Well,
Um,
yep. If that's the case,
I mean,
because
I think it clearly is slim because you can see where he's not gotten anywhere near as vibrant for the armor on the. He's clearly working across the model, not as opposed to up and down. So you can see where the leg that's standing on top of the sentinel and the same arm, they're not up to the same level as the other parts of it yet. So clearly there's a bit of room there. I mean, and the legs, the boots are a much deeper shade of red than the tunic. So
Yes,
there
it
might
is
be a bit.
true.
So he's got a bit of scope there still to bring the red onto the legs up, which might help overall with the balance.
Oh, James actually commented. He said, "I liked how he did the uniform, the yellow bit, can get annoying to get right.
yeah.
Little bit of
Yeah.
nitpick, but his hair stays black, not metal."
Well, that would actually help separate his colors quite a bit. Yeah. So
But honestly, I think that's the case if he hasn't gotten to that bit yet. In all fairness, I think he's been
maybe,
focusing on getting everything
maybe
locked in.
it could be that way. But I tell you what, the black lining is helping you out a lot. I think you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we will hopefully see more on Colossus
Yes,
soon.
and Joseph has done
Absolutely.
more on the the
Yes.
centaurs.
The centaurs, which we spent like six days on.
Yeah, Captain Underpants and the Pantsless Wonder are ready for flock and varnishing. Currently doing the green on the centaurs. I hope to be done this weekend. But yes, he's chosen really
Oh dear.
lovely colors for.
And I think
Yeah, those centaurs. That green's a lovely shade of green.
Yeah, very Lord of the Rings.
yeah, they do have a sort of certain high fantasy feel about them. They look quite nice.
Yeah.
But the thing that I found interesting is, all right, Joseph, if you're with us, can you tell us, are these meant to be waves or are they meant to be clouds? Because we've got some of the light reflecting off Captain Underpants, as he puts it, his little things down here. But I tell you what, that pose is utterly ridiculous, isn't
He
it?
is male
Yeah.
model.
Yeah, he's just like, by the way, I have junk. Have you seen it? Please don't. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yep. I will do it for you, Lord Helios.
All right.
That's what the other guy said.
So Joseph says,
Pretty sure that's water. Remember, a human is at most 10 mm at this.
yeah. So this guy's meant to be what? That's like 10 stories or something. Then
I guess. I
Well,
don't know.
I'm not sure
Right.
because I'm not sure how big he is, but he looks so. Yeah, but I think
Yeah, I mean that track.
the water's looking nice. I'm not sure how you would do the sort of sun reflecting off the water. I've got sort of no idea on
Well,
that
I
one.
think the way he's approached it, because he's gone for that yellow sun rays, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
if he wants to keep with that same the same color of the light source,
Mm-hmm.
he's done it correctly, because on the waves I can see he's hit it with a little bit of the yellow,
Mm-hmm.
and along the side of the legs as well. Naturally speaking, it would be white, a reflection on water. in real life, but you have to stay true to what you have used as the light
Yeah,
source
yeah,
color,
no.
or else it'll just look really weird.
Yes, so I think Sunny's right, and I think that's about all I can really add to that. And next up, we've got another Calvinoni special. And Cal's been putting in a lot of work these past few times. Like, I think they're looking really good.
Crikey.
But yeah, sorry, I'll let Davith have a go at this one.
Gobs, 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 gobs.
Comes
Love them.
from.
These just look brilliantly hilarious.
Mm,
You got to have in your gobs.
I like something about Cal. He shares with us these ridiculous models from all parts of different companies, and these ones from Nightmare Miniatures. I've never heard of this company, but it's really cute. These goblins.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I know a few folks who are going to love these minis because they look fantastically bonkers.
we'll see. What I really like is just how colourful they are.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's got, like, everything has great contrast here. So the green is really bright. The metal is really dark. So, and you've got these ridiculous colors with the monsters, right? So everything contrasts just so well. And, like, they just pop off their bases. Like, I think
Now,
that,
is it just me, or do these look to you guys like they're all over a metallic primer? 'Cause that's how it looks to me. Because I'm getting a
He
distinct feel
sometimes
of.
does that.
Because I think they're all contrast over metallics from the tones I'm seeing.
He
here,
often does do that with
which
his models. So
which is not a bad thing because it's really helping the colours really pop and make them quite distinct.
yeah.
Because
so,
it's so weird.
Joseph has a comment.
He said, "Did you see where those sticks go? How they're held on them? Ouch."
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they are goblins. It is the classic. So with that final bit of commentary, it's time for us to move on.
To Alex once again.
Yes.
And he says, one moment please. Working on my Dark Oath Warcry band. The skin is a tricky thing to get right. I am trying for a kind of Mongolian look. Still have a lot of work to do, but we will see how it goes.
I think the moment he mentioned Mongolians, it's so hard because like the Southeast Asian skin tones don't have the reddish undertones that both like African and European people have.
Yeah, it's more yellowish.
Yeah, well, it's not just so the problem is like our skin is very reflective,
Yeah.
and so the problem is when it's in the sunlight, it looks that way, but when it's under, for example, fluoro light, it's much more pale. It's much more like literally white.
Yeah.
And I
There's
don't.
also something where it's
Yeah, go.
sorry, go ahead. I was going to say it's also something where it's very easy to kind of
Stuff up.
go, yeah, and end up looking kind of like being a little bit insensitive.
Well, yeah, no, and see, I think
without intent.
yeah, and
That's the
see,
key.
I think
A lot of
that's
people don't have any intent to do that, but
yeah, and I think the problem is with that the gaming companies who make the paints aren't particularly helpful in that regard because I don't think there's a single company that I know that has like a good set for Asian skin tones. If you want to do
no.
like African skin tones, you good as gold. Like there's every brown in the freaking world, right?
Yeah.
If you want to
Scale 75 did a set that was quite lovely for Arabic skin tones.
yeah,
which I've
no.
made use of.
Yeah, I've got
But
that. I got that set as well, right? And see, there's slight purplish undertones, but also you'd use that with African skin tones. But point is, right? There's no sort of one for Asian skin tones, and it's quite difficult.
It is not a very broad range, but I think the closest that I could think of when I think of like yellow undertone skin is one from Vallejo. It's one of the elf skin tones.
Yeah,
There's a bit of a yellowish tinge to it, and that one will work well.
I think
I
the best place to look is with makeup companies.
Oh yeah, they'll have like all the foundation colors and
But not for paint, but I mean more for lessons on how to do it.
yeah.
But I think
yeah.
we've talked a lot about a work in
I mean,
progress. So yeah.
I mean, I think that does look really good though. I mean, I'm
Yeah, it
liking,
is.
especially because you can clearly see how on the abs and the arms, especially the hands, he's not done as much work on those to bring the tones up.
Yeah.
But on the face and the upper chest and the upper arms, that looks really nice for transitions he's got in there.
Yeah.
I think that looks really good, and the expression on the face as well, how that's come out with, especially
Yeah.
with just that plain pupil he's got in there at the moment as well.
Well,
Don't know if he's going to adopt that, but if he does, that's going to look really
yep.
spot on.
So it's time. It's time for you to give me some curry. All right. Added some logos and such, and did up more dudes. So.
We've got a comment on your one.
Oh, we've got a comment on my one. Oh, I have not updated it yet. Yes?
Morton L. Christensen say,
Yeah.
out of curiosity, since I have not seen this before, I'm sure there is a reason for the blue-white line in the middle of the miniature, and I see the helmet have one red and one blue. May I hear your reasoning for it? It looks cool and is rather eye-catching.
Yeah, so if
Is that supposed to be transition from like a cloaking effect?
Yeah, it's meant
Or
to
a
be
camouflage?
it's meant to be, so on one side there, Alpha Legion, and Sonny, if you'd be able to reply to him and just say it's an Alpha Legion transformation, we're on the show right now if you'd like to comment live. So the whole idea of that line right there is meant to be, on one side is their is what they've transformed into, and on the other side is their original Alpha Legion form. And of course, their Alpha Legion form is a color shift, which doesn't come up quite as well on static pictures, but also
No, but I can see what you've been aiming for.
yeah, because
It
it's a purple green color shift. But yeah, please have
it
a
works.
go.
I mean, I can see it on the shoulder pads how it comes through, and it's a really nice, almost beetle shell-esque color.
Yeah.
Looks really. In person, I imagine these look fantastic. So
Well, yeah, it's very hard to show.
yeah, color shifts are a pain in the ass to photograph.
You know,
properly.
Actually, sorry, you
No,
go.
I think for this one was a little bit difficult for me to showcase because of how it's kind of dark. This color shift, the purple and the green, the value of these two colors are a little bit dark, and also the rest of the model is very dark. So it's very difficult for me to get the lighting correct without sort of going too low in the brightness, and then everything gets
yeah. I mean, if it was a brighter color that you were coming from, so like maybe a word bear or red corsair sort of color, that
Yeah,
would have highlighted it better.
I
But I do get what you're going for. I do have one piece of critique though,
yeah, go for it.
and I don't know if it's something that you've already thought of. The only thing I'd say is that the fact that all of them have that line going straight down the middle,
Yeah.
I so I get why you've done that, but I
Mhm.
might have maybe tried to make it so the transitions are more. I don't want to say random, but they look more like each one's at a different stage in the
or like
Yeah.
they have different directions.
So like maybe one guy's got it going diagonally, one guy is almost fully revealed, one guy's just starting.
So how
As is,
about
they all look like they're right in the middle, which I
they?
get I get the look you're going for. I get
Yeah.
that completely.
How
But it was
about
just
the
something that occurred to me. It's
machine gun guy with his big old machine gun? Is that
that
more what you're talking about?
kind of, yeah, because I mean the fact that the gun is at a different stage and is not on the same center line as the rest of the body
Mm.
really helps it stand out more. Whereas all those, because they're all showing the same step, and it's not a very jagged line. Although it's not a completely straight line, it
Mm-hmm.
is an uneven one.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like how you've gotten the effect in there because that can be a real pain just trying to paint like that anyway. So not take. I'm trying to build you up here as well as not. I don't want to sound like I'm being
Just say
taking you in nuts.
exactly what you mean. You know, it's okay. I'm a big boy.
I think the first attempt at this
Mm-hmm.
as a proof of concept, this is a brilliant squad as a proof of concept because I do like a lot of what you've done here. I genuinely do. There's some lovely effect work, and the two styles of the armor work really nicely. If you do it, is this part of an ongoing project, or is this just a one-off you were trying?
It's a commission that I'm working on for a client.
Okay.
Joseph's got a
I mean,
comment on this, if I could read it.
Yes, please.
If the two halves looked more different, the transition would be more obvious.
Yeah.
I get what you're doing from the line, though. Maybe the vertical line could have more small horizontal spike. Yeah, I actually thought of that.
Make it more
right as we were talking about this, I thought about that a little bit.
So
horizontal spike. I'll just finish.
Yeah.
Make it more electrical. Make it more obvious it's not part of their armor. Okay.
All right. Well, would you
or even that it's possibly try and add some movement to the line so that maybe, because I imagine it's probably moving across from the Alpha Legion side across the Black Legion armor to reveal the Alpha Legion.
Well, yeah. So I really didn't have an idea which direction it was going. It was more just have that transformation because that's what the client asked for.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if honey, if you want to bring up an electrical sort of thing, and I can show that to the client, and we can bring that up on the stream if you want to bring that up. But yeah, so What do you think about the symbol right here? Does it is it too muddled because obviously it's meant to be damaged here?
No, I think that looks fine. I mean, if that's supposed to be a Night Lord who's becoming an Alpha Legionnaire,
Yes,
and it's just
so
over his,
it's a
I mean,
night.
that fits perfectly what they've.
So it's because they're all Alpha Legions, right? And spies always have ridiculously complicated backstories. All of these guys have like a bit more to their story. So this is a Night Lord who's become a Black Legionnaire, right? And so this one right here is a word bearer who is become a Black Legionnaire.
So this is, I think, what he's talking about.
All right, if you'd like to send that to me. So you can see his word bearer thing, and like also his skull's glowing, and he's got the dirty big red line from his eye. You know, the sort of streaking power idea. And you can see like lots of bones and skulls because word bearer. But on the other side, it's just a silver skull. Like they don't care about the bone motif. It's just a motif. And this guy is meant to be Slanesh, and we haven't drawn the symbols on him yet because we're going to have to freehand those ones.
Yeah,
but,
I was going to do those parts.
Yeah, but he's going to have the male-female symbol on here, the Slanesh one. The one, you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have that on his gun right here. And also you might have noticed that he's drooling some drugs. You know,
drooling some drugs.
Well, you'll see. We don't have a great image of his head, but you'll see here that out of his mouth grill.
I can see how you've done that.
Yeah, the green thing, because I wanted him to sort of have that vision of excess, and out of the backpack is green goop oozing out. And also here we're gonna have like the male symbol pointing out this way, you know, straight up. So have you sent that picture?
Yeah, it's in the group.
Okay. Take a look.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. So here we go, guys. This is what Joseph is suggesting, and maybe that could be better. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it like that, but yeah, maybe. What do you guys think? Do you think that might be better, something like this? So don't worry about the rest of all of that because that's that's something completely different, but more that sort of chaotic sparking energy. Oh yes.
Well,
Be
it's an
behind
effect
the
I've seen a few
color.
people try, and it can be a bit of a pain to get right. I know that.
Mm.
Seeing how people struggle with it.
Well,
Uh,
if like that would be better, like I'll talk to the client and maybe have a go, because the client may very well be watching. Um, but yeah, so if that's something that they want, because the whole thing is right when it comes to commission stuff, it doesn't matter whether you yourself like it. Um, if the
is it the
client,
client likes it?
yeah, if the client
Yeah.
likes it, the client currently likes what's going on with these guys, right? So
Well, that's fair.
if
I mean,
I'll bring it up to them, and if they're like, oh, this was suggested, and like the thing is, if they'd like that, I'll have a go at it. But if not, yeah, I think I'm going to do one last refresh and see if there's anything done, and I'll just scroll through these in the meantime. But I think we have pretty much reached the end of it. But
looks like.
yeah, can you guess which former Legion this guy's a part of?
Would he be a former World Eater by any chance?
Yes, he would. He would. Is the blood too subtle? Is it? But yeah, so former Night Lord for this guy, and he's just got a bit more scrapes than everyone else. And this guy, former Word Bearer, but so I think I've also done Iron Warrior, and who's the other one? There's an Iron Warrior. Oh no, it is the Night Lord guy. I think I can't remember now. But anyway, we will see if there was anyone new. No, it's just the Sunny Girl. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've come to the end.
Yes.
Thank you
Well,
so
I
much.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, I enjoyed having you over
We
too.
always like it when people come on to the
Yes.
show. And you should come on to the show too.
Yes.
Anyone listening and watching. Yes.
I'm Joseph. I'm Joseph.
Big
What?
hint. What? I don't know. Were
What-
you talking?
Did
I
you
didn't
hear
anything.
some sort of hint
Yeah.
there?
No, not
David?
me.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What?
All right, but yeah, no, we always love having people on because it's so much better when it's a conversation rather than just.
Yeah, just two people saying the same.
And
opinions.
me and Sunny agree on a lot, so
It's not a fair, balanced view.
Yes, exactly. And I'm glad that we've had Davith on because Davith has disagreed with many of the things that we've said, and that's what we want because people can see things differently, and that's totally okay.
Exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, and as always, keep those brushes wet.
Wet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.